The year is 1998, and a team of cyclists related to Dr. Ferrari, including Alexandre Vinokourov, Alberto Elli, Rolf Jährmann, Marco Saligari, or the drug dealer Rodolfo Massi, are making history, achieving a hilarious figure of 61 victories during the season, and becoming the second-best team in the world, just behind the Italian giant of Giorgio Squinzi and Patrick Lefevere. 26 years later, that same team is back. Back to the place it earned, thanks to a mixture of EPO and blood transfusions and when they scared the planet. But in 2024, they're doing it 100% clean. While in 1998 it was the doper Lucky Jackie Durand who urinated on the sweaty jerseys of his rivals, in 2024 it is the tender and clean Paris-Peintre brothers who are notching up victories for the Casino team. While in 1998 the team was packed with Kazakhs and Estonians and Lithuanians and all sorts of Soviets who would go to war to defend the team if necessary, in 2024 the foreign team members simply call the race organisers dinosaurs and cry on social media like babies. And while in 1998 one of the team's leading figures was the Dane, there's always a Dane, Bo Hamburger, one of the biggest doping monsters of the 1990s, in 2024 only two Frenchmen, the cleanest men on the planet if we ascribe to Greg LeMond's law, are linked to doping, one of them being the amazing Tramadol Baudin. Vincent Lavenue's team has gone through the decades where they were effectively without prestige at World Tour level. In fact, the 2023 campaign saw them finishing a rather sad 18th place in the UCI rankings. So what has happened? This year, in 2024, they've become the second best team after the ocean-going liner of the billionaire Arab sheikhs. And all this has been achieved in just 5 months, where they have surpassed and augmented the number of victories compared to the previous 10 years. We are so sure that it's the most improved team of the season that we believe even our favourite White Kenyan would have a chance of winning something on a Van Rysel bike. Let's lay out the data and then let's have a look at the facts. A clear sign that a cycling team is much improved over other seasons is the sudden improvement of the team's best athletes. Dinosaur hunter Ben O'Connor hadn't won since mid-2022, but this year he's already taken the Vuelta a Murcia. He was runner-up in the UAE Tour, where he won another stage. He was runner-up in the Giro del Trentino, and then he was 5th in Tirreno Adriatico. And he's on his way to another top 5 finish in the Giro d'Italia. There was a mediocre sprinter reviled by the alcoholic Lafay, and he spent a year and a half without victories at a notable level, and then suddenly, at the tender age of 33, he's resurrected in the 4 days of Dunkirk, taking 4 stages and the GC. Dorian Godon had never won a World Tour level race, and he's already taken 2 stage wins in a very competitive Tour of Romandy. But then especially hilarious has been the atomic explosion of Benoit Consefroy, a good rider, we won't deny it, with a good top speed, skilled in the hills, and very clever when it comes to getting in race-winning moves. A podium in several Ardennes Classics, and who'd already won at World Tour level in the Grand Prix Quebec in 2022. But precisely since then, Consefroy hadn't won anything, not even a village race in his beloved native France. This season, however, he's killing it on all types of terrain. Whether he has to launch very long sprints, as in the Grand Prix Morbihan, the strongest man in the breakaway, finishing off the rest of the rivals at the finish line, as in the Brabant-Sapel, or even taking a win in a prologue against the clock, as in Le Boucle de la Mayenne. That's a discipline he'd never really specialised in before, where he'd finished more times outside the top 100 than inside. And so far, he's won 7 of the team's 21 victories. Only 7. But he's certainly going to become one of the best riders of the year in the UCI rankings. And all this, as we've already mentioned, has been done absolutely cleanly. Because another clear sign that a team is improving is the total elimination of any doping scourge that exists in the squad. That's why in February they decided to expel Franck Bonamour, the popular French cyclist whom they signed in 2023 and went on to do absolutely nothing in the ranks of Lavenue's team. David Lepatillon's UCI, always weak with the strong and strong with the weak, sanctioned this rider for anomalies in the biological passport. Inexplicable anomalies, according to the UCI. But this is the same institution that will tell you how a positive for salbutamol is not enough to sanction a cyclist, and instead they'd sooner award a Vuelta a España as compensation. Lavenu, the guy who had no problem signing Festina affair debris like Laurent Brochard or Christophe Moreau, has changed his mentality, and he immediately fired the doped French rider. Perhaps now he will have to become a Spanish citizen so that the lawyer José Rodríguez Alpiza can help him request a little payment, like Ibai Salas of the Burgo BH team, who was also sanctioned for a biological passport problem. Now, if that were not enough, the Casino team has readmitted the aforementioned Tramadol Baudin. Because remember, if you don't have white skin and you don't have a Gallic passport, they're quite happy to destroy your career, or at least try to. But if you're a young French promise, then, well, we can see nothing has happened for taking Tramadol throughout an entire Giro d'Italia. In other words, look, all the doping has been eliminated from Lavenu's team, and that's why they have improved a lot. Now, the last great symptom of clear improvement of the team is the appearance of new and totally unknown young stars. Young stars sweeping the peloton, just like the aforementioned Tramadol Baudin or the great French sensation of the season, Paul Lapeira, a guy without any victories until this season, and now he already has 3. Including one in the Basque Country at World Tour level, and then 2 outstanding physical exhibitions at Liège and especially at the Amstel Gold Race, where he finished 5th, despite spending half a day with air in his pale, pale face. Another big surprise is Valentin Paris-Peintre, the youngest of the little brothers, who, despite being the same height as Poggi, weighs 15 kilos less. This sort of radioactive Mr. Burns helped his brother to win in the Giro del Trentino, and he's also become one of the best climbers in the Giro d'Italia, achieving there his first win as a pro, notable, and beating a much more experienced rider who knows perfectly well how the Casino team handles itself when there are no sudden improvements inside. We're talking about Romain Bardet. As we're seeing on a regular basis, everyone wins in this squad. And still to shine are Felix Gall, who was committed only to fight for the Tour de France this season, and the French monster of last season, Victor Lafay, who after signing for €1.5 million has embarrassingly erased himself from the campaign with a freak injury that no one can explain so far. But just imagine what the transformation from human to alien will be like for these beings. But how do they do it? How have they become such absolute winners? Easy. On the one hand, the Van Rysel bikes, which are so much better than the BMC that they had in this team previously. These are bikes that you can buy at your trusty Decathlon in exchange for €9,000. Although, if we might be so bold, you may be better off investing in our channel. You could enjoy that more than buying one of those copy, tribute act plagiarist bicycles. In addition, a major coup has been the signing of Dominique Serrier, winner of the 1993 Paris-Dakar Rally as co-driver and a man responsible for the triumphs of Mitsubishi between 2001 and 2007. He's now a director of the team. That is, Vincent Lavenu has signed an expert in engines for a sport in which only the legs count, but he wanted their bikes to be the best, and he has succeeded. Norm Peter, the pedalist of the Neo Casino team, has insisted that there is so much more professionalism. All the small details are looked after, and they are also copying the methodologies of powerful teams such as Rabobank or Saunier Duval. In fact, they are already training in the High Performance Center of Granada, using the hypoxic rooms which increase the altitude resistance of the dear riders of the Casino team. There are no more secrets. There are no other factors that explain why this team of cyclists of relatively modest level, without any great superstars, without any great promise, and without any great specialists, are suddenly sweeping aside everyone in small events and even getting their piece of the cake in the events where the aliens compete. It's impossible that there are drugs, because we all know that in a team where Vincent Lavenu leads, there can only be healthy and responsible sport, just how we like it.